Well, welcome everybody. I will go ahead and call this meeting to order. We start with an invocation, which we observe by a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Corliss.
Here.
Halliburton.
Here.
Morales. Nash.
Here.
Stead.
Here.
Willits.
Here.
5 present, 1 absent.
Thank you. We've got minutes.
Madam Mayor, I move approval of the minutes for the meeting on August 26, 2025.
Second. We have a motion and a second, Clerk?
Nash.
Yes.
Stead.
Yes.
Willits.
Yes.
Corliss.
Yes.
Halliburton.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
Thank you. Now we have 2 items of special business. First off, I have the appointment of Alicia Casarino to the Parks and Recreation Commission for a 3-year term ending September 10th, 2028. Alicia and her family and friends are here with us tonight. I really appreciate your willingness to serve as a member of the Parks Board. And with that, I'll put the nomination to council.
Madam Mayor, I ask unanimous consent for the appointment of Alicia Casarino to the Parks and Recreation Commission for a 3-year term ending September 10th, 2028.
Second.
Without objection. All right, you're official. Congratulations. You're here. If you'd like to say anything, you're welcome to. No, you don't have to, but you're welcome to.
Thank you, Mayor. Hi, Council. I'm excited to be a part of this commission. I'm a 6th-generation Boisean, and our family has been raised here, and we've benefited from parks and programs, and we are now big trail walkers, and we're getting into hiking, and so I'm excited to contribute and help other families experience what we've got to experience. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Madam Mayor, if I could, I want to thank Alicia for her interest in this role and congratulate you for being part of the team. And when I use the word team, I don't use it lightly. I hope you understand that you are now part of this City of Boise team. And the role that you play is really significant. I remember when I first started on council, I served as the council liaison to Parks and Recreation. And so many things that we talked about during those commission meetings that our citizen members of those commission meetings talked about, motioned, approved, recommended for council to approve, we take very, very seriously. And I always tell people that we can't be experts at everything, but we have to know who the experts are, who can bring that point of view. And we have to be able to trust that you're going to bring, these good things forward. So again, I take these really seriously, and it's a big deal when somebody from the community says they're going to volunteer their time to make the city better. And I want to thank you for making that decision. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alicia. Really appreciate it. All right, we have 1 item that's not on the agenda, but it's not a decision-making item, so I'm just going to throw it in here. Another item of special business, and that is I would like to acknowledge Corporal Ed Moreno. Wait, did he just walk out? Where'd he go? Shoot! Hey, get back here, Ed! Ed! Okay, we'll wait for a second.
And just to be clear, shoot was not an order. It was just an exclamation.
Yeah, true. This was not on the agenda, so I guess maybe he actually is surprised. Hello, welcome back. I'm sorry, Ed, I looked down and started talking, then you were gone. I wanted this is not an item on the agenda, but wanted to acknowledge Ed Moreno's service. This is your last Tuesday, so last city council night. And I have a proclamation that I wanted to read and then hand over to you, and thanks for your service. So whereas Corporal Ed Moreno joined the Boise Police Department in September 2002 after time spent working with Canyon County Juvenile Probation and District 4 Probation and Parole. And whereas during his years at the City of Boise, Corporal Moreno has served as a crime scene investigator, patrol officer, BPD Hispanic Community Liaison, and Neighborhood Contact Officer. And whereas as the liaison to the Hispanic community and in all of his roles with the city, his focus has been on building relationships and partnerships and helping to create trust between the citizens and the police department. And whereas the Downtown Neighborhood Contact Office, Corporal Moreno has been a dedicated member of the DBA Board of Directors and has been an incredibly helpful and valuable resource for the downtown business community. His passion and dedication for the downtown community is evident. And whereas Corporal Moreno has been a calming presence at City Hall, at City Council meetings, and council member town hall meetings around the city, and he will be missed on Tuesdays by all of us who've had the pleasure to work with him. And whereas after 28 years of law enforcement and almost 23 years of service to the city of Boise, Corporal Moreno will retire on September 17th, 2025. I, Lauren McLean, do hereby proclaim September 9th, 2025 as Corporal Ed Moreno Day in the city of Boise. And thanks for all of your service. Thank you.
Been a true honor serving you and the citizens of Boise. I was talking with my mom this morning, and she was commenting how a kid from a simple background could grow up in an agricultural community and grow up to get in a profession where you can give back to your community. And that's what my parents always instilled in me. And I think it's why I moved up to Idaho. The city of Boise gave me a chance, and they gave me a chance to be a liaison to the Latino community. And it's what really drove me to do the work that I did with the outreach. And I'm humbled, and I'm very grateful, and thank you very much.
Madam Mayor.
Yeah.
Ed, if I had to describe your service here, it is a comfort to have you in the building. It kind of feels like I graduated but still have a school resource officer hanging around. That's the vibe. And I just want to share, those of you who I've talked about this story before, know the particulars of it, which I won't get into, but there was a particularly tense time in 2023 during a heated campaign cycle when didn't always feel safe in a lot of the work that we were doing. And I remember I was at campaign office. Ed had no idea I was there, but it was mayor's campaign office. And I just remember it was like 11:30 at night, and we were still working there pretty late. And him just pulling in and just hanging out in the parking lot, just to keep an eye on things and make sure that they stayed under control. And it was just really reassuring to know that someone was out there keeping an eye on things. And I don't know if I've told the mayor that story before, but we've always felt like that when the temperatures get turned up in here a little bit. It's just a big reassurance to have you there waiting at the door and being a little guardian angel for us. So thank you, Ed, for your service.
Madam Mayor, I'll add, I've only been on council for 2 years, but in that time, I feel like I've had a friend in you, Ed. You're going to just be so missed here. I can't even stand it. I've been fortunate enough to see you in action with community members all around the city, and you treat everybody with the same respect. And I'm sure they all feel that you're a friend of theirs too, the same that I do. You're good at fooling us. And I think to echo Council President Nash's sentiment, this role can sometimes feel a little precarious, like we're floating out there on our own, whether we're out in the community or even here in this building. And knowing that you are by our side and sometimes not seen, but we know that you're there, and your presence, feeling that presence makes such a difference. I really have grown to trust your advice, and your perspective on things has been so valuable, whether it's about the job or about things that are going on downtown, and through our service to the DBA board, Downtown Boise Association board. But in all of your roles, you will be greatly missed here. Thank you so much for your service.
Madam Mayor. So I've been in this role just a little under 2 years, and it was wasn't sure what to expect. And I'll echo the sentiments of President Nash. You're such a comfort coming in here, and you do feel like the school resource officer. I loved our school resource officer board because it's the person you could go and talk to all the time, and they were there for you to answer even your silly questions. I appreciate your support. I appreciate all your work you've done for this city. So much more than I'm sure I even know about. And I just so thankful we have you in the community for so long, and thank you for giving back. Appreciate you.
Ed, you're a gem. Thank you so much for everything that you've done. I've thought a lot about this day and have been in denial, by the way. I have been in denial. You have this class, you have this compassion, you have this courtesy, and you most of all have the humor. I mean, you're still smiling up there, even though we're I'm sure this can be a little uncomfortable. Thank you for always having a warm smile and a warm heart. You've heard people talk about the comfort that you've given, and it's a rare quality where someone can help lower the tension in a room and help people feel like they can be seen without being disturbing others. And that is a rare gift for someone to do. But also I would say, few people get to see their impact in what they do. It's very, very rare that people actually get to see how their work has changed communities and lives. And you have been able to see that. And I hope you recognize that you have changed lives. You have impacted this community for the better. I'm so glad you moved to Boise. I'm so glad that you've been part of all of our lives. What a blessing to have you here. And I feel grateful that I got the chance to get to know you. And I hope you enjoy every moment of retirement. And I hope you don't even think about city council on Tuesday nights.
Yeah, Madam Mayor. Corporal Marino, Ed, there's a chance that you got through her talk better than I'm going to get through mine. I'm going to try to hold things together. I've seen a lot of changes since I've been on city council. When I was first elected, there was actually an entirely different council. And I've seen a lot of changes around the city. And one of the things that has remained the same for all 6 years has been you. Your presence here at City Hall, your presence in the community. And I remember going to so many different events, and you would be there, and it would be late at night, and I'd be wondering how many hours you were working. And your dedication to the community, making sure that they felt safe, making sure that they felt welcome, but also I think for myself and for our other council members as well. 2020, when I first started, was a tough time, and we had some tough council meetings here, and there was a lot of tension. But every single person on our city staff, every single one of our council members, the mayor, the people who would come in, they knew that they could count on you to make them feel more comfortable, to make them feel safe, and frankly, to feel like a friend. And every single time I've walked in these city council doors, and every single time that I've left, I felt like I was being greeted by a friend, and I was saying bye to a friend at the end of the night. And I'm really going to miss it. I'm so thankful for all the work that you've done for our community. I don't think that you know the impact that you made. I don't think any of us know, because I think it reaches far beyond what most of us can imagine. And not everybody gets to leave that big of a footprint. but you did. And it is so appreciated. And I know that there's so many other people that feel the same way. So again, I want to thank you for your service. And I want to thank you for being a friend of mine for the last 6 years here at City Council.
Well, Ed, I'll just wrap up. I hope that you enjoyed this little surprise. And I want to say thank you from before, I've known you since before you were the liaison here, when you served in the police department and as a liaison to the Latino community, as you still do. And then when you moved here, I got to say, it's been wonderful to have you here in City Hall, but you're not just in City Hall, you're all around downtown, you're at community events all over the place, and the community appreciates you. So on behalf of the community, in addition to myself, just want to say thanks for the service you provided, the comfort you provided, the calm, friendly, safe, and welcoming atmosphere you've helped create, whether it be here in City Hall or walking the streets downtown, saying hello to businesses, attending different festivals that make this city so special. You've done it with a smile and with a gentle care that exudes compassion, and I deeply appreciate your service and thank you for it. And I do hope you have a good time. I was just talking to somebody recently who retired in June. And he said he was already done with retirement. He was looking for his next gig. It's like, I hope that you enjoy it a little bit longer than that before you look for another gig, because you've earned this. And it's a special chapter in your life. I know you love to get outside and you've got special places in the state you like to visit. I hope that you enjoy the time and reflect on the impact you've had and take full advantage of this next chapter in your life. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so the final order of special business, though not nearly so special, is, sorry, Alicia. Sorry, crowd, you're welcome to head on out for your special celebrations if you'd like. This is our third quarter financial report. Alicia McAndrews, welcome.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and council members. I'm here tonight to present the highlights of the fiscal year 2025 third quarter financial report, which covers period from April through June. The high level takeaway, if we the slides for you, is the city's financial position remains stable. There we are. With general fund revenues and expenditures within expected ranges. And before I dive into more details of the report, just a reminder that additional details are available on the city's website through Open Book. You can find revenue, spending, and staffing details there. So now taking a closer look at how the general fund revenues are tracking against budget. After the third quarter, the city collected 61% of budgeted revenues, which are generally in line with where we have been after the end of third quarter in prior years. There are three revenue sources with variances from budget that I would like to touch on in a bit more detail. First is development fee revenue. And at the end of the third quarter, it's already at 98% of budget, so well over the 75% benchmark. And this is driven by several large commercial projects, including the multi-year Micron expansion funded by CHIPS Act and other Micron projects and a large hospital project. Due to this construction activity, development fee revenues are projected to finish the fiscal year at least $8 million above budget. On the other hand, liquor tax revenues are coming in below budget, as we've discussed at previous council meetings. This trend of decreased alcohol consumption and therefore decreased tax revenue continues, such that we're projecting to finish the fiscal year approximately $800,000 below the budget. The fiscal year 26 budget was adjusted downward to reflect this trend. And then this reduction in liquor tax revenue is partially offset by a $500,000 increase in sales tax revenue. While it's not reflected in this chart, because we received the revenue actually in July, so it'll be in the end of year report. Boise received full growth of 9.9% increase in the second sales tax distribution of 2025, which will put our sales tax revenue approximately $500,000 over our 2025 budgeted amount. So now taking a look at expenditures, the city's spending is in the expected range for the third quarter and at the same rate that we've observed with the third quarter in fiscal year 2024. Personnel costs are slightly underspent compared to the benchmark. The main reason is vacancies, about a 5.3% vacancy rate this quarter. And that's actually down a bit from earlier this year, where we were about 5.5% in quarter two and about 6.42% in at about this time last year. Those vacancy savings were offset partially with overtime and earlier in the year with one-time compensation costs. Maintenance and operations is a bit below the 75% benchmark, but still within normal range for this point in the year, as some large contracts and payments may still hit in the fourth quarter. Boise's unemployment rate has remained lower than the national average. In April, Boise was at 3%, while the US was at nearly 4%. By June, Boise's rate rose slightly to 3.3% compared to 4.4% nationwide. Ada County, the Boise Metro Statistical Area, and the state of Idaho follow a similar trend. The increases are modest, about 0.3 percentage points from April to June, but still below the US trend. So looking at the big picture of our local economy, still overall kind of looming economic uncertainty remains, but local unemployment, as I said, remains low. Commercial development activity is strong, boosting the revenues. Employment is up citywide, 2.5% year over year, adding over 3,300 jobs. Air traffic continues to be strong and a positive sign for business and tourism. And then city vacancy levels have decreased slightly in the third quarter as well. So to summarize, the city's budget is stable, and I reasonably expect that the city will end the fiscal year with higher than budgeted revenues and lower than budgeted expenditures. Our fiscal year 2026 budget assumes that we'll carry a balance forward from 25 to 26 of $1.25 million I anticipate that this number will be higher, primarily driven by the development revenue, but there are still a number of unknowns, including police overtime, ratification of the CLA and the associated bonus payments, and rebudgets. So over the next month, the budget office, working with department staff, will continue to refine our expenditure forecasts, and I will be bringing forward to you a more refined unallocated general fund number by way of a December IBC with the FY25 year-end funding. So that is what I have for you for a Q3 financial report, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you. I don't have any questions, but I will say that just recently I had a constituent say that they really appreciated how clearly the quarterly financials were presented and that they could easily go in and find information. And I just wanted to pass that along. So really appreciate the work you guys do.
Mayor, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Good to see you. Thanks. Oh, wait, you did. I'm
Do
sorry.
we don't require
No,
for the
this is
budget
just
report.
information.
Yeah, just thank you for the work in putting this together. It is really easy, I think, both for the public, but also for us as city council members to both read in the memo and the report, but then also with the presentation as well. It's always great to see that, that we've got revenue that's doing better than expected and expenditures that, we're coming in a little bit under. So I just want to say thank you for the hard work in delivering this information from us. It's great for us to keep an eye on the different things. I'm always interested in keeping an eye on the development fees because we do have a lot that is associated with Micron and to kind of be thinking about that long term as well. to understand if that funds will always be coming in. So I appreciate the hard work with this and yeah, keep up the good work.
Well, thank you. All right, we will now move into the consent agenda.
Madam Mayor, Councilmember Stead wanted to go through these one by one. Did you still want to do that? Or do you just want to approve it all together today? I'm teasing you. Madam Mayor, I ask unanimous consent to remove RES 46225 from the consent agenda as ACHD has decided not to move forward with the project.
Without objection.
Madam Mayor, can the council president tell us which number that is on the consent agenda?
What was did you say 462? What number?
Number 16.
Number 16? Okay, thanks.
Without objection. All right. And now a motion for the consent agenda.
Madam Mayor, I move approval of the remaining items on the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and second discussion. Clerk?
Nash,
Yes.
Stead,
Yes.
Willetts,
Yes.
Corliss,
Yes.
Halliburton,
Yes.
all in favor, motion carries.
Thank you. And now we've got two ordinances on first reading.
Madam Mayor, I ask unanimous consent that all ordinances on the first reading calendar be read by number and title only and filed for the second reading calendar.
Without objection.
ORD 30-25, an ordinance DOA 23-10, amending the Harris Ranch Specific Plan 2007, Volume 1, as implemented by Title 11, Chapter 7, Section 1, to modify certain blocks, block prototypes, and street sections associated with the Village Center and Village Green blocks and providing an effective date. ORD 31-25, an ordinance describing the exterior boundaries and removing certain properties related to the Ustick Ditch Lateral from the Boise Municipal Irrigation System, directing the Boise City Clerk to record a certified copy of this ordinance in the Office of the Ada County Recorder and providing an effective date.
Thank you. And I believe there's no other business to come before council. I'll take motion to adjourn.
Madam Mayor, I move that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thanks, everybody.